If it wasn't obvious to some of you already, the market that you start your business in can significantly impact the success of said business. And in today's video, we're going to cover a market that personally I was not aware of until pretty much today when I was doing some research for this video. And it opens up a lot of possibilities for potential businesses to start. Now, I've pulled up a Shopify store here that is actually in this niche. And the reason why is to show you an example of a company that is already taking advantage of this market so that it can give you guys some ideas of things that you could do in this market as well. Now, the store that I'm talking about is called Athletic Brewing, and they're reaching nearly 500,000 monthly visitors. And as you see, the trend line is only going up. So this is definitely a trend that I would invest in if there was a stock for it. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But first, let me show you how crazy this trend really is. Look at the search volume behind it. It's literally going sicko mode right here. This is the definition of up only. And while most of you guys here are beginners to e-commerce, right? I know a lot of you are starting your dropshipping businesses. You don't have a ton of money to invest into a business. There is a percentage of you that watch these videos that have the capital to build big e-commerce brands. And there's even some of you that are venture capitalists out there that could really take advantage of the information that I'm providing here on YouTube. Now, you may be thinking that I'm showing you these brands in order to sell you on a course or something like that, but I want to reiterate, I don't have any courses to sell you. So even if I wanted to sell you on a course, I can't. I don't have one. And I think any future course content that I make, I'll just be releasing on YouTube. In fact, if you're just getting started with all this stuff, I made a recent tutorial on how you can create a Shopify store around a trend that I found in only 10 minutes. So don't worry about that. And the second objection that I get a lot is, Arie, well, why don't you start one of these brands? Why are you showing us this stuff? And the reason is simple. It's because my business, the business that I put a lot of my focus into, is a growth marketing agency. And while that may not seem very appealing to a lot of you guys, the way that I'm structuring the business is we're also operating as a holding company / venture capital firm. So obviously I don't have millions of dollars like some of these venture capitalists out there, but what I do have is a skilled team. So to be fully transparent, I believe by providing the world with some of these ideas, I'll have a ripple effect in the businesses that get created out there. And hopefully some of you guys that start these $1 million businesses come to me to help grow that business and potentially invest in that business. So I know that's not really the point of this video, but I felt like I needed to clear that up because I get those questions a lot. And I think it's my responsibility here to be as transparent as possible. Now, let me share with you why this trend is actually working so well. The main reason is because it seems like people are actually becoming more health conscious. So because think about it, right? Like obesity rates are going crazy, right? So that's a really concerning trend, but it also means that more people are going to become health conscious because they're going to have to, right? Obesity comes with a lot of health risks and a lot of issues. And that's more or less what these sorts of companies are solving, right? So these non-alcoholic beers have a lot less calories. And of course, they have no alcohol, which alcohol, if you may not know, actually causes the most damage in your life, more than really any other drug, more than weed, more than mushrooms. And the reason why is because of how it affects your environment, the people in your family, your friends, and also because of how normalized it is. So with that in context, it's really easy to see why these sorts of things would pop off. People obviously love their beer. People love, hanging out with other people and having an excuse to mingle, but they're starting to realize that maybe alcohol doesn't really fit the lifestyle that they want. And here's the solution, right? Now, here's something that's really interesting. It's kind of a big business 4D chess move here. Dr. Pepper actually invested $50 million into this company, which is pretty interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Dr. Pepper is obviously not a healthy drink. So what I see is these companies are starting to, instead of creating their own healthy alternatives, they're just buying out the healthy alternatives, which is a very interesting move. I think this happens a lot. Some of you are interested in starting these kinds of businesses that have a lot higher barriers to entry. And you ask, Arie, well, how do I find products like this to sell? And the way you find these is you have to put in the work to do the research. I mean, this is how I find these trends. I'm actively doing research and learning about different markets and different products and different problems in the world. And here, for example, if I look up non-alcoholic beer manufacturer white label, we can see a couple different companies. For example, here is one that makes root beer and non-alcoholic beers, and you can basically private label them. Now, this is definitely going to be expensive. I'm sure this would cost anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 to get started. But I'm sure some of you watching these videos have a lot of money that you can invest into a business. And like I mentioned in the intro, the market that you choose reviews is extremely powerful and impactful in the success of your business. I mean, I think this trend is just getting started. And of course, like most of the biggest e-commerce brands out here, they are a Shopify store. So if you want to start your own Shopify store, make sure you use the link in the description. You're going to be able to get started for free and then lock in $1 a month plan. I think this deal will only last through November, so make sure you take action. But that's about it for this video. I thought this was a very interesting trend to talk about. So hopefully you guys found it interesting and valuable. And that's about it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.